Hey pillars, and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video I'll be sharing how I travel with my bike basically for free, how I avoid all the fees when it comes to flying on different airlines. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Now the purpose behind this video is to actually explain all the steps from start to finish very thoroughly, because it is hard to find it still on YouTube. So I'll be explaining how you break down your bike, what bike bag I use, what to do when you're actually at the airport, building it up again in the hotel or wherever you stay, and then breaking it down and doing all that. So after traveling to multiple cycling destinations, I really want to make this video because I know it would serve a lot of riders. Hopefully some are watching right now. So let's jump right into it. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to thank today's sponsor, and that is Shokz headphones, for sponsoring this video. And sponsorships like this actually help me make more cycling content on the channel for you guys. Now the Shokz Openrun Pros right out of the box had great build quality along with having a great sound quality too. So I was thoroughly impressed when I actually had them on my ear and tested them. Now one of the great features with these headphones is the fact that it has dual noise canceling microphone, meaning if you get a call while you're riding, you can answer it without all the wind noise, along with a 10-hour quick battery charge. So there's a lot of pros with this headphone, and the biggest thing I just always want to note when it comes to bone conduction headphones is the fact you get to hear the ambient noise while you're riding. So it's just so peaceful to hear the road, hear any cars, beeps, increase safety. Now, if you're in the market for bone conduction style headphones for cycling to take your listening experience to the next level in terms of hearing the ambient noise, the traffic noise, and your music or podcast, then I highly suggest you check out the Shokz headphones. Link in the description down below. It helps out the channel. And right back to the video. Now we're currently on the website where I bought my bike bag, and it's from a company called Orucase, and this is the B2 model, $649 USD. And the thing about this bike bag that makes it unique is that it fits all the dimensions for a checked luggage, and because the weight of the bike and any accessories you put in it will not exceed and become overweight or oversized, and it is not classified as a bike. Technically, I'll get into that, how we work around that you basically get to travel with your bike bag as checked luggage, so you avoid that bike fee or that oversized fee, which is just amazing if you're trying to cut down on some costs. And if you're traveling a lot, it can add up very quickly. The other thing I want to note about this bike bag is just it's such a good and well-designed bike bag. It has a lot of padding and inner protection. They put both wheels on the side of it, so it breaks down for storage. Like, there's just so many cool features about this bike bag, even from the website that you can see, but I will be showing firsthand all the ins and outs of this bag. Now, if you've never traveled by plane with your bike like I did 2 years ago, then you probably aren't aware that every time you fly, there is a bike fee associated with doing so. So if you are bringing your bike in a cardboard box like it is shipped in, or a specific oversized bike bag, if the airline knows that you're traveling with a bike, then they will be charging you. So Orucase has all the majority of the airlines listed in terms of how much they charge. So Lufthansa, for example, is 150 USD within Europe and 300 USD for international travel. So the thing is, for at least the 2 or 3 first flights, depending on how you're traveling, then, for me, for example, going from Canada to Georgia, that's 300 USD right there that I save if I get this bag. And then basically after the second or third travel, the bike bag pays for itself. So it just makes sense if you're going to be traveling long term and you're going to be in the market for a bike bag. The fact that this bike bag saves all the fees, pays for itself, and the savings from using the bike bag actually can go towards the cycling trip is just so smart, and over the long term, it's just a very good thing to do. Now, the first thing I like to do when I'm breaking down my bike is creating my own workshop by hanging the saddle on something high, so I can take off the fork, can take off the derailleur, I can do all the stuff I need to do to break down the bike. So I took off my fork, and I'm basically going to orient everything else in the bike bag. So head tube first. I will be showing more breakdown video later of how to do that in terms of breaking it down, but you put both wheels on the side, and that adds extra protection to the frame, and then you squeeze everything in together, and you have your Orucase all packed up, ready to go to the airport. And like I said, this is not my first time flying from this trip. This is like my 3rd or 4th or 5th. I really forget. I've been doing a lot of traveling in the past 2 years, but I've been using this bike bag every time I travel, and I have no problems. So one thing I love about the sizing of this bike bag is that because it is so compact, you don't need to worry about having a dedicated van. You can take a small taxi as well. So it's been very, very good for just not causing complications when you are traveling. So this is me arriving to the airport all in one piece from the taxi, no size problems. And right now I just got it checked. Now I always put the therapy equipment on the bike bag just because I don't like to explain what's inside. And every time I've been asked, I just say therapy equipment. And honestly, cycling very much for me is therapy. Now, we were in the check-in counter for Turkish Airlines. That's the airlines I was flying. And the lady asked me, was it a bike? And I said, of course not. It's therapy equipment. And the other lady actually said, no, it's therapy equipment. So the fact that you don't really have to go into details, and it's just a question that you really shouldn't be even answering. So they directed me to oversize, and everything was good. Even though I think they can scan it, it doesn't matter at that point, because if you're saying it's therapy equipment, it's therapy equipment. So I've never had problems saying that, and I would say that's all you should say every time you go into the airport, just therapy equipment, because if you really think about it, it's really not a bike, it's just therapy equipment. Now, with your bike bag checked in, the last thing you have to do is go on the airplane and arrive safely to your destination. Now, that depends if you have a direct flight and it's just a one-way, or if you have a layover, which means you might actually have to recheck your bike bag, which is your checked bag in this situation, because depending on how the tickets were purchased, if you purchase the layover individually instead of all on one ticket, then they actually might have to make you recheck it because it goes from one airline to another. But if it is the same airlines, then usually the initial ticket would have both destinations in terms of the layover, which means the checked luggage will be brought to the last destination of travel. You're going to basically arrive to your destination and wait for your bike bag to arrive. And once it arrives, the next step you're going to have to do is build up the bike in the hotel or wherever your accommodation is. Now, if you really don't like building up your bike, you're not that mechanically savvy, then you probably are going to have to take it to a local mechanic wherever you are traveling to. But I would suggest that just for convenience sake, that you get good at building up your bike if you are going to travel a lot, because it saves a lot of time and money if you're going to be taking taxis and whatnot. It's just a hassle. So I'd say get good at building up your bike. Now, this bag from Uru, it's an amazing bag. It basically pays for itself because you never have to have an added extra fee of having a bike. So the bike bag has all dimensions for checked luggage. I think this is 22 kilograms. I put other stuff like my sea sucker, my bike rack, my helmets, shoes. I put a lot of other equipment, razors inside of that. I don't think anything's broken on it. It's very well made. I've really no complaints. Everything seems to be intact. I will verify it later to make sure. Now, I think this is worth documenting, but I just want to show you how much I actually packed in my Ubercase. So I actually have this cheap pump I picked up that I have now made my travel pump for all future trips. So the pump is here, and I really did a good job at wedging it inside my bike frame. It's lightweight plastic, not heavy like, you know, a metal one or like a heavier plastic one. So I think that's great. And then I have my sea sucker, which is my portable bike. I shouldn't be filming this with one hand, so I'm gonna take a break. Now, having the sea sucker in the hand, if you don't know what this is, it's a portable bike rack. You can use suction technology to basically have a bike rack if you rent a car. So I think this is great just because of how multifunctional it is, and also how light it is. You can put it in a bike bag, and if I decide with the remainder of my trip to rent a car here, I can go to an epic place and bike. So we'll see if that plays out. I don't know. I just brought it just in case. And then I have the other part of the sea sucker, which is, this is what it looks like in terms of, you know, the protective stuff. And then I have all my other junk in terms of bike stuff. I'll take the wheels out, and then I have the main bike. So this is the first time that I've ever built a bike in a 5-star hotel. Now that the bike is officially built up, it didn't take me that long. I would say about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. All the additional accessories I put on were my 2 water bottles. I didn't have to take off the cages. I have my rear Varia light as well with my back rear Uru rear saddle, which is very convenient, very sleek, along with my 1030 and K-edge mount. So in terms of building up the bike, very, very simple. From the first time to now, it's getting a lot easier because usually I don't travel this much, but now with things changing, I just have to use this bag a lot more and get comfortable building bicycles in hotels, basically like a pro cyclist. This is a pretty serious question. Lambo or bike? Which one? I'm confused. Lambo or bike? Lambo's pretty fast. I'm pretty sure it goes above 1,000 watts. My bike is officially all packed up. Pretty easy now. I'm getting super comfortable just building it, breaking it down, building it. So this is it, pretty much broken down. The last piece you always have to undo is the seat post, and then it goes directly into the bike bag. So my bag is fully packed up. It's pretty easy now to break down.
That was easy.
Now I just want to show the wear and tear on the bike bag for the last 2 years. The bike bag is still in great condition. I would say the zipper and overall build quality, the stitching is really rigid and good because we know how the airports handle luggage. It's very poor. So the fact that the bike bag pretty much still looks brand new blows my mind. Now right before I leave, I do want to share one thought is the Ubercase, which I have right here. The Ubercase is such a clutch because it counts as only checked luggage. It meets all the dimension, it meets all the weight limits for checked baggage, so you don't get charged on any oversized baggage fees in terms of bike fees. And this is not a paid sponsorship. I just love Ubercase. I've been supporting them for a long time just because I think of how genius the idea is. Just having such a compact universal bike bag, has straps on it if you want to use it as a backpack, but such a clutch. And basically, you know, it's a pretty steep investment for a bike bag, but over time, through all the flights, if you do travel a lot, then it pays for itself. And the convenience factor is just amazing. You break it down, you unpack it, you ride, you break it down again, and you're not getting charged. So this is like a little speech I wanted to give, a little spiel, because I just think if you are traveling and you want to save some money and just get a good bang for your buck, it's a great bag, great quality zippers, the stitching is great, nothing's falling apart. I've already traveled with it more than like 5 times. I don't jinx it, I've not been charged once. So I hope it continues. It's a really good bag. It's very compact, like it's very good, very efficient, so I'll leave it there. I'm basically going to the airport now. Just finishing up the hotel in terms of making sure my room's tidy. Don't want to leave it a mess. And let's hope everything's good with the flight back. Now, traveling with my bike bag to the airport is so easy because I can hop into any taxi. It doesn't necessarily have to be a super big taxi. That's what I love about the compact size. I was asked at check-in what was inside. I said therapy equipment. They asked me no questions other than that, and then took it to oversized. So after that, I was very happy that I didn't have to go in a back and forth because that's never happened yet. I just always on the back of my mind. I was flying Emirates home, so knowing that my bike bag was going to protect my bike, don't have to worry about it, just relax on the plane and pick up my bike when I arrive at my final destination. So I guess because they have to scan the insides of the bike or like the case, they don't put it on the belt. So usually always, so far since I've traveled, it always gets its own custom clearance. So this says oversized. So, okay, no, it's because of oversized. Now doing a quick visual scan of the bike bag, I don't see any big scuff marks or scratches or dents. So the contents inside, which is my bike, should be more than fine. So now it's just about getting home, getting to a taxi, and then building up my bike the next day or when I get to around doing it. So I have my bike in hand. It got cleared through oversized. Now, if you enjoyed this video and found value, I will be doing more traveling cycling content very soon. So leave a like, subscribe to the channel, ask any questions down below, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.